boys and girls, and welcome back to another video. Today, or this evening as it is, it's Sunday evening, we're going to be looking at one of my favourite consoles ever, the Dreamcast. Now I bought a Dreamcast just as they were leaving the market. It must have been cheap, I don't really remember. I don't even remember what year it was, to be honest, but it would have been probably about 2002, something like that. But anyway, what is the Dreamcast? Well, the Dreamcast is a 128-bit, I'm reading this, 200 MHz, 360 MIPS console with an NEC CLX2 processor, which is a PowerVR, 16 MB RAM, 16.7 million colors, 3 million polygons per second throughput, and it uses 1.2 GB GD-ROMs at 12 speed and has a resolution of 600 by 480 pixels, which is a standard VGA resolution. It also has a Yamaha 64 channel sound chip. So, like we said before, what is it? Well, it is one of my favourite consoles. I don't know why it is. It's not as powerful as the PlayStation 2, but it is more powerful than the PlayStation. But as the PlayStation 1 was starting to look its age in the late 90s, very square, blocky graphics, didn't have the best 3D. It certainly had very good 2G. God, I'm talking. That's because I've been looking up phones all weekend. It had very good 2D, so you had fantastic looking platformers. But the 3D was a little bit blocky. But the Dreamcast was launched in November 1998 in Japan, saw American release in 1999, and Europe in 1999. And it was the first of the 6th generation of video games consoles, preceding the PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and the Xbox from Microsoft. It was also Sega's final ever console. Well, home console anyway. They made handhelds, but final final home console. It was released after the Sega Saturn. I did buy a Saturn first before I bought the Dreamcast. In error, in actual fact, I did go out to buy a Dreamcast, and I don't know what happened, but I came up with a Saturn. Probably just to play Outrun. But I didn't like it. Didn't like the look of it, didn't like the feel of it. So I quickly sold it, and a few weeks later I bought a Dreamcast. And I loved it. I love the Dreamcast. The controller is pretty good. It's a small, powerful little console. Superb. I loved it. I loved the Dreamcast. And still do. Still one of my favourite ever consoles. So what happened? Well, the Dreamcast has a very checkered history. It was launched in Japan. Didn't do that well. It did okay, but not fantastic. Not long after the Dreamcast was released, Sony announced the PlayStation 2, which sort of killed the sales a little bit. The PlayStation was supposed to be coming out, or PlayStation 2 was supposed to be coming out not long after the release of the Dreamcast, so obviously sales suffered dramatically. And also Sega managed to piss off most of their third parties by releasing the Saturn early and killing it quite quickly. It was difficult to program for, nobody liked it, it didn't sell that well. So they brought in the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was also brought to market quite early, much to the anger of third-party developers. It had a very poor launch title games list, purely because Sega brought it forward. Why did they bring it forward? Because they knew the PlayStation 2 was coming, and they had to get it to market quickly, in much the same way that Microsoft rushed through the Xbox 360 in record-breaking time to get it to market before the PlayStation 3. And look what happened to Xbox. I would think 3/4 of an hour in landfill. But that's another story. So the Sega Dreamcast was released in 1999. It sold very well initially in Europe, sold very well in America initially. But unfortunately, I'll give you the dates if I can find it. I'm just looking this up, so please excuse me. The Dreamcast would launch in North America on September the 9th, 1999. So it was 1999, at 199, which Sega dubbed 9999 for 199. Okay, 18 launch titles are available for the US launch, and they sold 225,000 in 24 hours. It earned the company $98.4 million. It did have a successful launch setup of Soul Calibur and various other titles. It launched in Europe on October the 14th, 1999 at 200 GB pounds. 500,000 was sold. However, the sales dropped off dramatically by the year 2000. Sega had only sold 1 million units in Europe. So it spiked early, sold really well, and then the sales sort of collapsed. And this was partly because Sony not only announced the PlayStation 2, but also gave it a release date. Sony at this time, I'm reading again, held 60% of the video game market in North America. On March the 2nd, 1999, Sony revealed the details of its next generation PlayStation console. It was more powerful than the Dreamcast, had a DVD-ROM, and could run PlayStation 1 games. So it pretty much killed the Dreamcast dead in the water. Sega, for their part, reduced the price. A lot more titles were released. Some really good games as well, very good games. But it never recovered from the announcement by Sony. They stole the thunder. And the decline was basically on May the 22nd, 2000. They had a big shake-up at Sega, swapping the management about. Blah, 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 blah. 9 million Dreamcasts have been sold worldwide. So it's hardly a failure, but it's not exactly a success. Blah, blah, blah. I'm reading this from Wiki, because I don't remember all this. I can't remember, I'm stupid and old. But there's lots of information about stuff going pear-shaped, which it did. But essentially what happened is, Sega, at the beginning of 1 week, in around 2000, said the Dreamcast would be going from strength to strength and sales will continue. A week later they pulled the plug and said they were killing the Dreamcast. All support would end, and they were withdrawing from the console market. And it wasn't until later that we found out that it was basically losing money on every console sold. It was trying desperately to recoup that money through game sales and licensing, and failing drastically. So the Dreamcast was being sold at a loss, and the company, I think, was 600 million in debt or something. It was a disaster. So unfortunately, even though the Dreamcast sold millions of units, it was a fantastic 3D platform in the early 2000s. It was much more powerful than the PlayStation 1. It was a victim of poor timing and the PlayStation 2, unfortunately. I'm just trying to see what the release date of the PlayStation 2 was. Not that it really matters. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at just a couple of games and see how they go. So let's get on with it, shall we? So the console's already going to sleep, not surprised. Bending down for my controller. I've been babysitting all weekend, so I've had my nephew here, Harry. Does that work? Yes, it does. Yeah, I've had my nephew here, so I've just offloaded him back to his mum and dad, so I can relax and just faff about now. So the first game we're going to try is Well, you'll see. I could really do with moving the camera. It's not in an ideal position there. Pointing at me sideways. It's perfect for looking at the laptop. Not particularly good for looking at the screen. As usual, I'm completely disorganized, so please forgive me. Well, off to the title of the video. Okay. I'm sure those of you who remember the Dreamcast will have no hesitation in knowing what this is. Metropolis Street Racer, or MSR, you know, for those gamers. And this was excellent, really good game. Now I've just burnt this disc because the console I bought had no disc with it. I've just burnt this with Disc Juggler, and it doesn't seem to let me want to get into the racing, but it will do time trials. So for the sake of this video, we'll do a couple of time trials. I use 60 Hertz. I hertz many times. Is that the right time? Yeah. Well, you know what that means. I'll be driving in the dark. Fantastic. Well, actually, let's do 1 hour then. From today, it is British summertime today. Kudos. Respect is given. Okay. MPEG soft deck. Look at that. MPEG. MPEG 1. All you'll ever need, kids. All you'll ever need. Bizarre Creations. Bizarre Creations. What did they do? They did loads of stuff. It's very PlayStation-y sounds. My garage. Access your garage to test drive or challenge 4 cars. To select a car or select the car to drive. You will first need to visit your garage and earn a car. Challenge for ownership of the car. Now I think what this does, it kicks me back to, you have to beat a lap time of 0.33. No problem. I did briefly try this last night, and what it does, it kicks you back to the menu for selecting the car every time. Which is a little bit irksome. A little bit irksome. Go on, Dreamcast, you can do it. Oh no, cool. Oh my god, this has been a long time. A long time. My nephew was playing this last night. I didn't. Why's the car so big? I can't see a goddamn thing. Love the graphics. But I always had trouble with the shit. I always had trouble with the line of sight of this thing. Can I change the view? Oh my god. Can I change the view? I like it. See that? That was driving, that was. Oh shit. Come on, Mazda. Just bought one of these. It's in the garage at Brother's Farm. Oh, same colour as well. Finish. Have I done it? Yes, I have. God, I'm rubbish. So I presume that's my car now, is it? MSR says OK. Well done. Select the car. Topless. Soft top. Hard top. Okay. Daytime hard top. Hard top. Raining hard top. Street racing. Use your skill to earn kudos. Let's go earn some kudos, kids. Welcome. Willkommen. Training. Let's train. Train me, baby. What? I don't understand. Race against the clock and try and beat the goal time. 49.2 seconds. San Francisco, so there'll be lots of hills. Oh, that's cool. That's my idiot nephew then, who's been pressing these buttons and not been able to get into the game menu. Stupid boy. How long has the video been running? 16 minutes. I'm going to try and keep these little gameplay videos down to 30 minutes or less.
This is Red Stanton at the Roadhouse.
Now, one for all you traditional country fans out there. This is Kurt Austin and Long, Long Road.
Well, I met a girl named Mary Lou. Her dress was green, her eyes were blue. I said to her, hey darling, look at you.
Oh, shitty shit.
Smiled at me, she looked so fine. Her shapely body was divine.
Oh, her shapely body was divine. That's a girl for me.
Now she had to buy some underwear. Asked if I could take her there. I said, of course, my love, now don't despair. With that, she sort of grinned at me. She put her hand upon my knee. I thought about how lucky I could be. Well, it's a long, long road to nowhere when you're traveling alone.
Oh,
It's a long and empty freeway if you end up on your own.
right, okay. Concentration is required.
Go find yourself a woman and bring her home.
Come on. Oh, God. I forgot how quickly the car pulls in.
So I turned and said to Mary Lou, I really want to marry you. I wondered if she felt the same way too.
Come on, Mary Lou.
She hesitated for a while, then after she began to smile, she said, yes, you can walk me down the aisle. I looked at her in disbelief, 'cause it was such a great relief to have her say she'd marry me at all. So then we went to celebrate, got back home at 8:30, and we went to bed to procreate. Well, it's a long, long road to nowhere when you're traveling alone. It's a long and empty freeway if you end up on your own. And you've been to all the places and there's nowhere left to roam. Go find yourself a woman and bring her home.
Come on.
So we went
Oh,
to the wedding
I
store.
think I've learned.
Looked at
I think I would learn. Oh, fastest was 46. Am I supposed to do 41? Rubbish.
such a perfect fit. Then we noticed it was split. But then I said,
I need to tune the suspension. So the first race I can't do. Oh, the shame. It's 41 seconds, wasn't it? You made it. Oh, did I? Oh, 49. I just forgot how awesome I am. I have CUDA scissors. Look at them. I'm stylish. I'm penalised somewhat. Okay. Continue. Race. James's Park.
You're listening to Cool Cuts on Cabin Jazz.
And if there is a view changer over, what are we getting rid of? There was another.
Experience the premier sports.
There was another race game. There was a Ferrari.
The Sports Cafe with state-of-the-art audio-visual, 120 TV screens, games, bars, and a great restaurant. The Sports Cafe, where the games never end. www.thesportscafe.com.
London, that's just, where's London? Where? Oh my God. London's about 60 miles from me. Down the motorway. Oh my God. Well, I'm smoother. Awful. I find it hard to believe I was good at this. Must be age. You can see why racing drivers stop in their 40s. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh, he wants a warm cup of tea and a biscuit. Oh, your fastest 23, target 30. Yes! Now I think, personally, that still looks good. To say that is, it's 2017 now, and this is a, what year is it? Oh, it's 1999, 2000. What is it? Let's look. Metropolis Street Racer. Mountain Safety Research. Not really, to be honest. What? I should really do all this first, shouldn't I, before I start? I will. In future, I will pick up my game for reviews. This is my first. It's a test. Just, you know, take it easy. They will improve, probably. Metropolis Street Racer is a racing game for the Dreamcast by Bizarre Creations. It was released in Europe November 2000, with the US release in January 2001. The Japanese version was started but never released. Okay. 3rd of November 2000, so it's officially 17 years old. No style. What do you mean no style? I'm full of styles. Bloody cheek, no style. 33 target time. I can do that. Clear. Let's go, kids. Yeah, 17 years ago. I did have this on my first Dreamcast in the blue, the thick CD DVD case, CD
I
case.
gotta say a big hi to all the girls at the
With
Mirage
the blue
Diner.
labels,
It's
white
Marge,
Dreamcast
Thelma,
written
Fred, and
on it.
Hi, you guys.
This is the same truck I've just
And
done,
also
isn't
to
it?
Billy Ray Stevens, who's 40 today. Have a great day. Now, one for all you
Okay,
traditional
Billy.
country fans out there. This is Kurt Austin and Long, Long Road.
What's it just been on? Kurt Austin.
Well, I met a girl couldn't help but look at her behind. Now she had to buy some underwear, asked if I could take her there. I said, of course, my love, now don't despair. With that she sort of grinned at me, she put her hand upon my knee. I thought about how lucky I could be. Well, it's a long, long road to nowhere when you're traveling alone. It's a long and empty freeway if you end up on
That was awesome. That might be spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. I bet the phone's ringing now. McLaren. Oh shit. Oh, double shitty shit.
So I turned and said to Mary Lou, I really want to marry you.
Marry you, Mary Lou. Now loading. So I've qualified that as well, haven't I? And I think that'll do for today's Metropolis Street Racer. Continue. Saving, says my display. Okay. You made it. Fantastic. A new race in some kudos. No style. Very cheap. Oh, I see. So you can't race until you get up to a kudos level. Ah, okay. Well, that'll do for this video, kiddies. That was pretty awesome. I did enjoy that. I may even continue playing for a little while. Super. So I'll say cheerio for now.